Show recording begins right now. Hi everyone, and welcome to eLearnChat, where talk is knowledge. My name is Rick Zanotti, and today we've got with us, as always, Dawn Mahoney, and she's as always at an undisclosed location. Hey Dawn, how are you?
Good morning. Hello. Good afternoon. Whatever. Leva just pointed out it's afternoon in Belgium, so need to say that. Hi, everyone.
That's right. So Dawn, how's your week been going?
My week has been going very well. The weather is finally gorgeous. It's a beautiful day today again, and I'm getting ready to go to international conference for ASTD. So a lot going on. How about you?
I'm about the same. Had a real busy week. I'm not going to ICE though. I'd like to go, but unfortunately, this year we had some other arrangements and engagements. And actually, Jeff, who's in the chat room, is going to be out here from Australia. So we're pretty excited to see him again, and so that'll be a lot of fun. He'll actually be. Oh, he won't be live on eLearnChat next week. He's going to be going to Yosemite after that. So he'll be on Shrek Tech next week with us. So that should be fun.
On Tuesday?
On Tuesday.
Great.
I think we're going to put a camera on him and have him go.
Cool.
So anyway, well, today we have a great guest with a great product. And have you heard of the tool easyGenerator?
I had not until you told me about it.
easyGenerator is becoming a very popular tool. It's got a lot of buzz going on right now. A lot of e-learning professionals like what they see, and they like how it works and the way it's designed. And today we've got the fortune. And by the way, at the last moment, we did have a reschedule today. And I asked Kasper if he could come on the show later on. He said he could do it this week. So that was very kind of him to come on last moment. And with us is Kasper Spiro, who is the CEO of easygenerator.com. Hi, Kasper. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning or good afternoon your time. You are in Holland, right?
Yes, I am.
Is it Rotterdam?
Well, Rotterdam is the office, but currently I'm at home. So it's somewhere in the center of the country.
Great. That sounds good. And, well, you've got a great product. I've been looking at it. I had heard about it actually from Joe Gonchi, who was on the show not that long ago. And he was talking about it, and I was thinking, easyGenerator, why does that sound so familiar? So I took a look at it last week. I was very impressed. You guys have done a really nice job with the product and what it does. And
thank you.
So tell us, what makes easyGenerator a little bit different from some of the other e-learning tools?
Well, I think it will be a couple of things. One of the things is that easyGenerator is already around for a long time. So I think it started out in 1996. So there's a lot of experience already built into the product. It's an online tool, which is still sort of special. It's a WYSIWYG tool, but I think most important is that we actually embedded learning objectives into the tool, so you can design around them and report around them and support people around them. And I think that's something I haven't found it in other. You see it sometimes in learning management systems, but I never saw it in authoring tools. So I think that makes us quite unique.
So when you talk about learning objectives in the tool, how exactly is that incorporated into easyGenerator?
Well, if you want, I can just give you a quick demo of that.
Okay.
So I will share my screen with you. Can you see my screen?
Almost. There it goes.
So what you're looking at right now is easyGenerator, and this is an example of a course. On the left you see the table of content, and on the right you see the WYSIWYG editor. By the way, we just launched a new version last Monday, and with a completely new editor. We're very happy with that, so I'm still very proud that we created that.
Great.
But we have sort of an adaptive course, and I can just I will just run it in a browser to show you how it would look for a learner, so you can get an idea what it will actually add for a learner.
Now you mentioned the word adaptive. The course is adaptive for different platforms?
Well, no, it adapts to the results of the learner.
Ah, okay.
That's the idea. So it will actually point you to your weak spots, and you can skip your strong points. And how it works, you will start out, and I will just do that quickly, with an assessment. So you have to go through a number of questions, and that will help easyGenerator to determine what you know and what you don't know. So, by the way, it's not a very difficult assessment because it's created specially for me. So the last question is always the correct one. So I will make some errors when going through it. And you also see that we have the questions will give feedback and stuff like that to give away the correct answer. That's all. Can all set that in the interface. So I think this is the last one, and then something happens, and I think that's quite special. So this course that we went through actually has 4 learning objectives, and you get, after you do the pre-assessment, a study advice. There are 3 learning objectives here, and it will actually point you in the direction of the pages that contain information that you don't know yet.
Oh, interesting. That's different.
Yeah, that's. I think that's new. So if you close that by clicking OK, it will be stored over here, so you can get it back. And you can also use it to navigate, so I can go to pages and read about it. And when I make more progress, the study advice will become smaller over time. And the other thing we have over here is that the learning objectives are actually in the course. So you see this course has 4 learning objectives. And you can also see how I did on the pre-assessment. So these are my scores that I achieved on all the objectives. And this last one, I actually scored 100%. That's the reason it was not in my study advice. So although I haven't done any reading on the content, it will be marked as done for me automatically, so I can skip it. It's still there, so the content is here, so I can go through the table of content and read it. But if I'm going for the goal to get 100% score here, I can skip it. So, and if you then go to this learning objective, it will actually show you, if I go to the learner, so if I get to my study advice, you will see that I have to read 1 page. This page is there. And also it will indicate which questions and which information pages are connected to that learning objective here in the table of content. So you see there are 3 questions, and 1 is still marked as a question, and the other ones are marked as done. So I got them correct. And of the 3 information pages, it says I have to read 1. So all I have to do is read the page, go to the question, answer it. Oh, I always skip this one because I have to check all the boxes. So I check all the boxes, I submit it, and actually it gave me a signal that I have another learning objective for 100%, and you can see I reached 100%. So what it does, it actually points you to the parts you have to pay attention to. And it will save you a lot of time, and especially when you have compliant training, something like that. So you know a lot of the content already. You have to prove that you know it, and then it will actually present the content to you that you don't know yet.
That's pretty nice. How hard is it to set up the learning objectives and tie it to the actual content?
I will show you. So this course, we have what we call an adaptive dashboard. So here you do the setup. So you see, here are the 4 learning objectives, and if I open a learning objective, you see more details, so you can actually have a detailed description, a text when you have 100%, and you can set the scoring ranges for insufficient, sufficient, and good, just by dragging and dropping, for example, this bar. And these are the texts that will be shown in the study advice, and these are default texts, so if you don't change them, they will be presented like this, but you can type them over. So you just set up, in this case, 4 learning objectives. And on the right side, you will actually see related objects. These are all the questions that are connected to, that are in this course. And the idea is very simple. So we think that progress should be measured based on questions answered correctly. So all you do is click on an objective and click on the question that is related to that objective. So you see that it's just a matter of clicking. So we have 10 questions, and they are divided over the learning objectives like this. And that way you set up all the progress and the reporting of the learning objectives into the learning management system. And then you have a second step. There's a tab here called Study Advice. And it works that on the left side you will see all the questions, and on the right side you will see all the content pages. And all you do is connect the proper pages to the proper question. And you can connect more than 1 page to a question if you want. and you can connect a question to more pages.
Now, Kasper, I'm disappointed. That's too easy.
And the great thing is, what we sort of mimed is the design process that you should go through, because you should start out with your learning objectives. I used to be a teacher, so I'm a bit old-fashioned in that way. I think that's the only way to actually create good courses and to measure your results. So you have to set up your learning objectives anyway. Then you have to determine how to assess them. So that are the questions, and you just connect them. And then you have to determine what kind of information you need to present to the learner in order to help him to get the answers. So, and just that process is everything you need to do. And the course has what we call a master page behind it, which is a sort of program that runs the course and determines look and feel. And that it has the intelligence to actually, based on this information, create an adaptive course for you. So this is all you have to do.
That's actually really nice. Yeah.
We say that it will not save you time, but in the same time you will create a better course.
Right. Now, if I gather correctly, is this also a content management system?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So it's an LCMS, a learning content management system. So it's we say it's as easy as an rapid authoring tool, because we have the WYSIWYG interface, but it's quite advanced. So you have a role-based system. You can create tasks for people. So you have workflow with version control. You can publish in a variety of things like SCORM. Since last Monday, we have tin can support. You can publish in HTML. So there's a whole range of things.
So the course, well, actually the tool publishes to Flash and HTML?
Not to Flash.
Not to Flash,
published to HTML, it's published to SCORM, and it's published to tin can.
Oh, great. Okay.
And we also have an XML publication, which is used to get the content into, for example, translation systems for multilingual courses.
Okay, so localization's done through
Yes.
XML. Okay. It does look very easy. Now, I was also looking on your website. There are two versions. There's a free version, and then there's also a more advanced full version.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we launched a free edition last November at DevLearn in Las Vegas. And it's very successful, more successful than I anticipated. So right now, I think we're close to 3,000 users in more than 100 countries with the free edition.
Great.
Basically, it's the same as the version you're looking at right now. So it has all the functionalities I just showed for adaptive learning. We even have very advanced branching techniques, so you can create scenario-based learning. It's very complete, and all that is also in the free edition. So it's a bit limited, but it's limited in the fact. So what you see here, there's a master page, and that sets the design of the course. You can't change it. You can only change your logo. And the other thing is that there's a maximum of 10 courses that you can create in the free edition.
Okay.
But basically, those are the limitations. So you can create a complete adaptive courses as you can in the paid version. And the other big thing is that collaboration is important in easyGenerator and in e-learning development. And the free edition only allows one user in a workspace. And in the pro version that you're looking right now, you can work with dozens of people at the same time in a course and have the task-based system and the workflow. So you miss that.
And am I correct? I think I read that when you have one of the other versions where you can collaborate, you have different roles, but one of the roles is that of a reviewer, and the reviewer is actually a free reviewer. You can have reviewers come in without having to, I guess, subscribe or pay. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Maybe I can show you, because that probably will show you best how that works. So I can actually, if I'm on a course level, I can actually request a review. So for the demo purposes, I will send it to myself. So this is a mail form. You can put in one or more email accounts here to send it to. It has default text. You set a due date. For example, I want it done by May 16th, that's tomorrow, and send it out. So it will actually create an email. And that email, my email is not on. Oh, and it's verifying my data integrity. Oh, that's a shame. So Outlook is
That's
having
what that's what
problems.
happens to me on my Outlook at home. I have the same problem. It
I
comes
think
up, but it won't connect. I have that same issue. It's because I'm not on the local network, I think.
Yeah, but well, that's typical. So what I will do, I will just do it again and then send it to another mail account. And I will just go there and get the mail. Sorry for this. So, oh, wait a minute. Here's my Gmail. I just send it to. So there is a mail sent out. So here's the email I just sent out. And the cool thing is, so you have to imagine now I'm somebody who doesn't have an easyGenerator account at all. So I don't have access to the software or anything. But all I have to do is click on this link and it will actually, because it's a web-based system, all data is stored online, it will grant me access to the web server and will actually load the course for me in exactly the same way as a learner would see it. And I'm not sure why it takes so long, but...
Well, while that's loading, one of the questions in the chat room is what type of questions and interactivity are resident, and is there a difference between the free version and the paid version, the hosted version?
For interactivity? No,
Yes.
no. There's a timeline function which is available in both of them. You can use Flash. We will have an HTML5 plugin in both of the systems. You have the same question types. The only difference is that some of our question types, a few are still in Flash. We're currently replacing them with HTML, and we'll only give the HTML question types to the free users. But in a few months, they will have the full set of, I think, 12 question types.
So there, is there more than true, false, multiple choice, single answer, multiple choice, multiple answer? Is there also text?
Yeah, so I will show you in a second. I will just show you the list and you can see what we have.
Okay.
I think, Don, he said there were 12 question types.
Yes,
Okay, I
sort
missed
of. Something like that. So we have fill in the blanks, Likert question, hotspot questions, matching
okay,
questions, I think the whole bunch. So just to show you how it works. So I'm looking at the course and I can actually go through the course and it's exactly the same course I just demonstrated to you. The only extra is here, there's a command window here. So I can actually type in a command, please correct, and submit that. And the cool thing is more people can do that at the same time. And if somebody else made a remark on this page, I will see it here as well. So you don't get double remarks. And the cooler thing is if I go back to easyGenerator, to the course, I can refresh that. So it looks every now and then it will get new data from the web server. And then you see a yellow marker here on the course and on this page. So it actually means that on this page here, there is a remark. And I can show the remark by clicking here. And you will actually see inside easyGenerator, you will see the remark that somebody without a license made on the web server.
That's nice.
Oh, I like that.
And you don't have to collect it, it's just there. So you can actually respond to it. So let's say that I make a change here in the text. So this is the change I make. I save it. And I can actually reply to it and say, corrected, and mark it as processed, and submit it.
That's really nice. Yeah, I have a friend who works in Canada who has just this problem right now. They cannot get people to collaborate because their software won't do it, and they're really struggling. And I said, I'm going to send a link to your site, and because this is exactly what they're looking for as far as being able to collaborate and get people to review without having to have permissions in the software. They're having a real problem right now with that, and it's a big.
I created a lot of e-learning, and this is really something that saves so much time in the process.
Yeah, and it looked easy. Again, the easy is good.
Yeah, and as you see now, I'm back in the course as a reviewer. I see the remark I made. I see the response I made as an admin, and and at the same time, you see the change I made in the text. And you will see the change here in the text. So It actually will allow you to collaborate with subject matter experts.
Are you able to download those that commentary into any sort of document, save it as a PDF, so you have a trail?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So you can actually, here in the review, you can send a comment report. So what we'll actually do is create a PDF, send it to you by email. So you have a complete overview of all comments. And for example, if you have a meeting, you can take that with you to discuss all the comments that are made.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of you, but there's a lot of times when you need that accountability in my world.
I know. You know what? A lot of people do, because people never remember what they said.
Yeah.
So this
yes,
is
it will actually be recorded. You are able, as an admin, to remove remarks, but you can actually save a record like this and, for example, prove to the client that all the remarks they made before acceptance are actually worked on. And if they come with other remarks, it will be extra work, which is quite handy sometimes.
Now, can you
Shall
use
I close the screen and go back to the video? Or?
If you want, I have one quick question for you, because now that I saw that you could print from this, can you also print the course if you want to do any kind of documentation on the course, or if you want to create the course as a rapid prototype and then you have people review a storyboard? Is that possible?
No, we don't have any print functionality. You can print a single page, but we don't. So it's really an e-learning tool.
Okay.
We are looking into that, but we don't want to do that because it's quite specific. If you want to create good documentation, then you have to take a lot of things into account. So we're now talking to companies that are specialized in that, and the idea is that based on our XML export, they would then generate a paper-based publication.
That'd be nice. Yeah, because it's amazing how many customers actually want not only to see it online, but they want that paper.
Yeah, I agree.
It's amazing. People are attached to that paper, or if nothing else, that PDF.
They want to make annotation and be able to preserve the actual course the way it is.
Right.
Yeah, so but you can also do that, for example, in easyGenerator, because there's a large repository, so you can actually store a course or a version of a course in there if you want and freeze it.
Well, that's
That's
true.
a good mind
There's
shift.
another thing yours does. You can do multiple versions, correct?
Yeah, so it's not that you can actually have multiple versions of the course, but what it actually will do, for example, I made some changes on this page, and it will, every time I store a page, it will actually add another version.
Right. I meant revision tracking. I got that wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that's what I
you
meant.
see here it's 522, so this is the version I created a few minutes ago. And I actually added these letters, and I can just roll back to the version before by clicking on the second one.
Okay.
It will create a new version, say version 2 was restored, and that way you can actually go back to an old version.
And you can tell it how many versions to keep back, things like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that better than subversion.
Subversion.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about that.
But if you actually want to do version control on a whole course, then because if you publish a course, it will be a zip file that you then, a SCORM package, for example, that you upload in your learning management system. So we'd advise to store those on a separate device, and that would be your archive of the versions that you had.
Now, there is one thing I saw in one of the demos that you did on YouTube, and that is that you have a timeline for bringing objects on, taking them off, and you have one thing that I thought was very unique. You can actually have a split timeline where you can have an object come, go, and then come and go again.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique. People, other than Flash, it's really not something you see very often. Can you?
So the timeline function is down here, so you can actually see all the elements that are on the page. They will be in the timeline, and default they will be there all the time. But you can actually split the timeline, and then with dragging and dropping, having it appear and disappear. So now this one will be there for 8.9 seconds, and then after 1 second it will reappear again. So that way you can create more interactive things. So you can actually put things over on top of each other. So one image will replace the other one, or something can go. Well, we have it in the product now for a few months, I think, for 6 or 7 months right now. And we're currently thinking on how to improve on this, but probably we will have some action calls next to it. So they're not based on time, but based on actions. You can actually have a sort of action started.
Okay.
So Leva has a question about the plugin and HTML5, how that works.
So we don't have that yet. So the whole tool is in principle HTML. There are a few question types in Flash, so you can use anything on the web. I can probably best show you how So we have a Flash plugin, for example. So if I want to create another Flash element, I will just put it over here. And you can do all kinds of stuff with it. And all you have to do is go into your repository or your local system, select the Flash element, and it will be loaded in that screen. So now it's here, the Flash element. And the HTML5 component that we will have before the end of the year will work in the same way. So you actually create in an external tool an HTML5 animation, upload it in easyGenerator, and just place it in your eLearner content. And if you want, you can drag and drop it just like you want it, like you want.
And what about creation for mobile devices, especially the small screens?
Yeah, if you want to do it on a small screen, so I have an example of that over here. So here's a mobile demo. And how it works, you actually switch from master page. So you see the same course here, but it's now placed on a master page which is optimized for the iPhone. So you see different buttons and stuff like that, and you see a smaller screen area.
Oh, so interesting. So the master pages determine the size of the course.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so for example, the size, but also your whole look and feel, but also the buttons you have, everything.
That's actually pretty different too, because most tools have master pages, but it's just a different look. They don't change size or anything else. So this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, so you now see, because this course, well, I can actually show you. You do have to work on the positioning of on the screen. So, but I can change on a master page here just by, for example, if I select the adaptive master page, you will see that not only the look and feel will change and the layout, but I actually get these functionalities with the table of content and study advice, and they are just in the master page. And if I switch back to the mobile master page, the iPhone master page in this case, you will actually see that you don't have that functionality anymore. And it's completely different. So the content is completely separated, not only from the look and feel, but also from the functionality.
Okay.
So the commentary in the chat room is a couple things. Are touch gestures and rollover possible?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Rollover, how are you dealing with rollover or touch gestures? That would be how you would use it on a tablet or a phone. But then also, how do you deal with any sort of flash and flash-like items embedded if you're using it on an iPhone or an iPad because they don't play?
Yeah, so the look and feel, and for example, if you want to swipe, things like that is something you have to build into the master page. So if you buy easyGenerator, you will get a number of master pages like the ones I show you right now. They are for free in the product, and you can actually download the master page template. So that is the file, so the CSS, it's HTML, it's JavaScript, and you can actually change them and work on them, or you can have that done by a partner of us. So you can build those things in yourself. So the whole presentation is something that you can actually, if you are able to work on a CSS and program in HTML or JavaScript, you can actually do that yourself. And the second part of the question was, I forgot.
And Don, what that means is you have pretty much ultimate control over what you do, because now you're at the code level.
Right, exactly. The second part of the question was for use on tablets, because Flash and Flash-like items don't play on tablets. So how do you go around that?
Yeah, so well, very simple, you don't use them. So if you look, for example, at the question types here, all the question types with HTML mark to them are, you can use them for a mobile publication. And I believe, but I'm not completely sure that if you publish to mobile, it will actually warn you if you have Flash elements in it.
Well, you get, I mean, normally there's an error of some sort, right?
Yeah.
And then we're having a little bit of conversation. If you're developing for iPhone, do you need to publish a different version of the course that it would be readable on Android or some other platform? Or if it's created and you set it at the master page level, does the device recognize what it's supposed to?
Yeah, it depends a bit on what you want. So, for example, this course, new generation of e-learning, I can publish it in HTML, put it on a web server, and I can view it on my iPad or my Android phone. That works. Only it's not optimized for the screen resolution. So in that case, you want to have a separate master page which is optimized for that. And the other thing is that you might have some wishes for the navigation you want to change. So that's also something you set in a master page.
And you just put identifiers for the learner to choose the proper one?
No, not it depends on how you actually will deliver it. So if you deliver it, for example, through an LMS or through a website, the selection will be made in that system. But what we're currently working on is that you can actually publish a course as an app. So we're collaborating with a company in the States that is specialized in creating apps. And the idea is that you can actually, we will have a default app that you can put in the App Store. You can brand it with your own name and logo. And you can actually push courses from easyGenerator into that app. And that app will take care of everything, the rendering, but also tracking and tracing through TinCan, which we have since last Monday. That would be, I think, the most ideal way of actually publishing to mobile. You can just have the app in the App Store, and the courses will be presented to the learner through the app. And it will be an Android and an iOS app.
You don't care.
Hopefully, I hope to have that before the next DevLearn show. So that will be somewhere in October, November.
Yeah, and the beauty of that, Don, is that because they're generating HTML, it can run pretty much cross-platform without having to worry about the other issues. If it's iOS or anything, it's running through a browser.
Right. It takes care of it at the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
The items you've just been explaining to us, are they available on the free version and the hosted version?
Sorry,
She was asking if the items you've been talking about are available on both the free and the hosted version.
Yeah, everything I showed right now is available in both versions. So it's only the number of courses and the collaborative part. By the way, the review I showed is also available in the free edition, but it's limited to one author in the system for the free edition. That's the main difference.
Okay, good, because they've been asking out in the chat pod about that. So I think that
you can check on easygenerator.com/free. There's a form there. You can just fill it in. You will get an email notification, and you can get started in minutes and check it out yourself.
Okay, great. I think I've addressed everybody's questions, but I'm sure they'll let me know if I haven't.
That's really nice, and it seems like a very agile development environment.
That's nice that you say that. I will switch back. I will stop this video, this screen sharing, so you can see me again. So I think I'm back now.
Yes.
With my head. Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting topic because easyGenerator is actually created in an agile way. We use a Scrum methodology, and I'm really excited about that. So I now work with easyGenerator for 2.5 years, and I did a lot of software development before that. But you have what you call waterfall models. So you create a document, a design document, and then you go to the next phase and the next phase, and after 6 months you get what you don't want. And in Agile, we actually work in sprints currently of 1 week. So there is a new version, a working version of the product every week. And it's a very dynamic way of creating software. And I've been blogging about that I thought that it would be a great idea to actually apply that to e-learning. And happily, a lot of people already are doing that. And quite recently, there's a new book. It's called Choose Between Eddie or Sam. It's from Michael Allen.
Oh yes, he was on the show once. He talked about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so he actually wrote a book on, SAM is his agile methodology applied to e-learning. And I think that that is something that really would be very important. Because what we see with all our customers, all our partners, there is so much time stress on projects. And you can't take 6 months to create a course and deliver it after 6 months to your client, because the world will be changed in 6 months.
Right.
So you need to work faster, and you need to be more in touch with the customer, and you actually need to involve the customer much more in the process. And just an example, so as a CEO, I work together with what we call our product owner. He is the guy who is in charge of the whole product development. So from a business perspective and a market perspective, I come up with ideas, and he will put them in what we call a backlog, and they will be written down as user stories. A developer will take up a user story and will actually program it, and after a week they will demo it and show us the result. And that has two things. So after 1 week, I can actually say if they build it correctly. But the other thing is, sometimes if you put something on paper and then they build it, it doesn't work out the way you expected it, so you want to change it. So you want to actually change the user story again. So the worst thing that can happen is that you throw away 1 week work instead of 6 months. And it's really a unique way of developing, and we use it for the software. And I think it's also really cool to do that for e-learning. And I'm currently working, because I read the book of Michael Allen, and I really loved it. But I thought that there were a lot of agile techniques and best practices that are not yet in the book. Like, for example, a backlog, user stories, stand-up, a whole range of techniques there are. So I'm currently working on a series of blog posts that I will post on my private blog, which is kasperspiro.com. I wrote a review on Michael Allen's book last week, and I'm currently working on a series of blogs that will actually walk you through the development process, how we develop software at easyGenerator, and then translate that into e-learning development and how you could apply it there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
I think it's a very exciting development.
Yeah. So where do you see e-learning going in the near future? I mean, there's been a lot of changes, and from people creating a very expensive master productions to we're getting, like you said, more agile, quick. You've got to get it out there because things change too quickly. Where do you see e-learning going?
Yeah, so I think there are a whole bunch of interesting developments at the moment. I think the most exciting one for me is actually TinCan, or the Experience API as it's officially called. What it actually will do is it will actually allow you to track and trace learning experience from anywhere. So learning will no longer be confined to learning management systems. So you can actually do all kind of cool stuff, and people can show that they learned something on a blog, on a website, through an app, anyway, and you can actually track and trace that. So you can actually build individual logs of activities and learning results. I think that will change a lot of things, and one of the things that it probably could do, not only free e-learning from the boundaries of the learning management system, but also connect learning much more to the workplace. So I think that that's one of the challenges we have to face, because there's a huge gap between user support systems, where you actually you have your online help, and then you have e-learning, which is very formal and sometimes takes a lot of time and is quite big. So I think that we need to have something in the middle, small learning nuggets, that could, for example, be parts of an e-learning module, but that will actually present an answer that you're looking for while doing a certain task. And it will go further than just the online help of the application, because, for example, it will involve procedures and stuff like that, and maybe best practices. But I think there will be a sort of middle ground between performance support and e-learning.
That's true. That's great. Now, you're going to be at ICE next week?
Yes, I will. So we don't have a booth,
great.
so it will be my first visit there. So I will just be checking it out.
You don't have a booth, is that what you said?
Wandering around. So if you want to contact me, well, please feel free to contact me.
So Don, he won't have a booth, but he'll be looking for contacts. So if you have a chance, say hi.
Yeah. So you can contact me on Twitter @Kasper Spiro, and ask me to meet you
I will
somewhere.
definitely do
and,
that.
I will be happy to do that.
That'll be great. Well, Kasper, it's been
And you're Kasper with a K, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah. It's very European, I'm afraid.
Kasper, this has been an absolute pleasure. We wish you the absolute best with the tool. You've got some great ideas and some really good implementation that's gone on. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of you in the very near future. So congratulations on that. And we're looking forward to, I know people will see you at ICE, and I'll look forward to seeing you at eLearn. That's where I know you're coming next. So
Yeah, I will be at eLearn as well.
look forward to touching base with you there. And again, thanks for coming on. And if you want to get a hold of Kasper, you can easily go to his Twitter or go to www.easygenerator.com.
See you next week, Kasper.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, see you next week.
Yes.
Have a good
Thank
one, everyone.
you.
If you're watching
Bye.
the recording, please subscribe. Give us your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're in the chat room, as always, thanks for being there. We really appreciate it. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye.